Greetings, Explorer families. This is Dr. Ike, the Executive Director of our Westlake Charter School.
And I'm Lila McIver, your principal at Westlake Charter High School.
I'm Felix Flores, your WAVE president.
And we are your Westlake Weekly podcast team where we come on the airwaves once a month and riff through, hey, what's coming up? What are we talking about? What are we celebrating? Our monthly podcast agenda kind of riffs like this. We start with some celebrations. We dive into the core value of the month. We are currently celebrating 20 years of joyful learning, so we kind of throw it out to the street. And we had a great interview this week with one of our joyful learners out there. We'll talk about big upcoming events, what's happening to K-8, what's happening to high school, and then we'll obviously end the show the way we always do, which is like, what are the ways to get involved with WAVE here at Westlake Charter School? So let's dive in, you guys. Let's start with some celebrations. What's good out there? Who's got the first celebration? Seeing a show of hands. McIver, what do you got?
I will fight somebody for it. I am celebrating. This is such a fun celebration. I am celebrating our first ever STEM career night here at the high school. We had Domina Damas, who's our physics teacher, as well as our counselors, Carly Fabry and Parwana Daoud, had this idea back in August. They said, could we make this happen? They put out an invite to our community. We had professionals in the STEM careers show up, and we had many students and families who were able to make it to the event. It was so incredible. It was great. The exposure, the structure, they had these little cards and our students were asking these professionals questions. They were hands-on. Our robotics team was there. Oh my gosh, I will go on and on. This will be the whole podcast, everybody. It was a great example of when school and community collaborate.
Yeah, I love it so much. That STEM fair was on point, and it was like very homegrown. It was just like, hey, you guys want to try something? So Westlakey. Like the team was just like, yeah, let's see who shows up. Packed house, great stuff. Felix, you got a celebration you want to throw out there, man?
Yeah. McIver, clue me into the next one. I don't know if you knew or not, but in a past life, I was the national director for Yes We Code and helped national trainings on coding and STEM development. And then currently I'm the chief growth officer at an advanced mathematics organization. So I'm there for you if you need help.
There's STEM professionals everywhere. Well, I had a funny moment. I got home after the STEM fair. My husband said, what's going on tonight? And I said the STEM fair, and he was like, you didn't even invite me? I was like, oh, I'm sorry. That didn't even occur to me, dude. Sorry. Next time.
I love it.
You know what? My celebration actually is going to go out to the Westlake board and leadership. As of January 20th and the new administration coming in, there has been obviously dozens and dozens of executive orders, a lot of confusion and barrage of what's happening and such. And I think as any educator would tell you that like consistency and like security are probably the two biggest things to make sure we prize for our students. And to know that there are potential external forces that challenge that consistency and security have been kind of disheveling for myself, speaking as a parent of color, at the school, as well as I've talked to other parents, through WAVE and outside of WAVE, where this has been like, what's going on? And to see the board announce, and we saw this in the Westlake Weekly in January, that, hey, we're going to make this a safe space for our kids, and we are not going to allow folks to come in without due process and whatever it is, to me, it spoke volumes. I have worked in school districts and nonprofits for over 2 decades, and sometimes that silence is very loud when these things come. And so I just wanted to celebrate the stances that are being taken by Westlake and leadership. And again, honestly, on a very personal level, as a Mexican dad, it means a lot to see something like that. So congratulations and kudos to y'all.
Yeah. Thanks for the shout out on that. I mean, honestly, big shout out to that board of directors. Several of them sat on that board for quite some time. They are really rooted in the organization. But honestly, several of them are parents and family members. You know what I mean? There is a familial piece here, and I love the shout out to say, hey, let's reintroduce that 2017 resolution to just to be clear with everybody, this is how this board rolls. This is how this school stands together with our community. Yeah, I love that. I will see your STEM celebration, take your leadership celebration. I'll pivot left and go to humanities. And I just want to give a little shout out to all of our spelling bee participants. But look, like, I don't know, as a guy who likes to get on stage, you know, because I love the sound of my own voice, to watch our kids who are, you know, get up on stage and are super nervous, and they're in front of their community, and they're participating in a competitive act, and that, you know, and we have an eighth grader who, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to just throw her name on the pod, so I won't, but like, hey, she has competed in the spelling bee multiple years in a row, and she is. I think she got beat by her sister a couple years ago. I think that might be true. And she won this year, and I was just like so pumped for her. And I know that she maybe is an amazing speller, but doesn't 100% love being on stage. To watch that child, that young person get up there in 8th grade, probably her last year that she's going to compete in this situation, and to nail it and to win, and after like I think 13 rounds or 12 rounds, it was pretty cool. So yeah, man, I love me the spelling bee. I'm not a great speller, but I love the interface between like spelling and that performance art of standing in front of a crowd and keeping yourself, you know, keeping your cool. Anyway, all right.
The creative speller, that's all, John.
I'm a very creative speller. Google doesn't get me, you know, in all its little red lines.
Embrace a growth mindset around it.
That's right. Yeah, Google's always being like, here's a red line to tell you got too creative with this spelling opportunity. Yeah, I love it. Well, let's do what we do and kind of roll into our kind of this month's core value. It's kind of a special one. This month's core value is being celebrated, you know, far and wide, because we are celebrating 20 years of Joyful learning. That's right. And so this month's core value is joyful learning. Does anybody have like a joyful learning related core value? You know, the core value itself, as we celebrate all of our core values through our, you know, positive decision making, self-awareness, social awareness, the definitions are, you know, joyful learning represents positive decision making by evaluating the importance of your growth mindset. So like, hey, do you have a growth mindset? Self-awareness, motivating yourself to explore new things. That's joyful learning for us. And social awareness, showing pride for our school and the things that we do. Anybody got a joyful learning celebration?
I'll kick it off. Principal MacGyver did it first. I'll do it this time around.
Take it.
I'm on the positive decision making. So a little bit of story time here. Yeah. My daughter Ray was in kindergarten last year, and she had, an issue with another kindergartner that wasn't in their class. And, the leadership and Principal Gallagher was great about resolving and getting us all on the same page. Later on, that student was transferred into Ray's class. And so, again, it was just kind of like, oh, all right, like, how are we going to deal with this? Again, leadership did a great job with it. However, and the thing that I wanted to say about the growth mindset element was that it was very simple to kind of label any student as good or bad, right? And there was a moment when I was doing car drop-off where Ray saw this student and was like, oh, they're, over there. And like waved, and the student waved back. And I was like, oh, I'm glad that y'all, are getting along. That's good, because as parents, we sometimes can have our imposed reactions. And her language was, yeah, they're doing really good. They're making better decisions now. They're growing. And that was just crazy to me that you would have a 6-year-old who was just embodying this growth mindset of both themselves and someone else. And far too often do you see where kids are just labeled early, tracked in a certain way. And this ability to evaluate and understand the importance of people making decisions and growing and I think really speaks to kind of what the Westlake spirit is about. And so props to her teacher and the staff and everyone that's been employed, because as much as I would like to think I'm a positive influence on my daughter, like that language didn't come from me. So props to you. And I thought it was a great way to kind of just show that, yeah, growth mindset is a really beautiful thing, and to see people really see, students see the importance of it at such a young age.
Yeah. I love the recognition of all the things we learned that are outside of like the curricular standards, right? I mean, that is something your child learned through the process of, being in the classroom that isn't going to be measured on the report card. Yeah, I dig that. MacGyver, you got a Joyful Learning celebration? You got one?
I do.
Bring it.
It is lottery enrollment season, and I get the amazing privilege of touring families here. We had our 8th graders here last night, but my Joyful Learning celebration is our link leaders who have been such an important part of this process. When you get to the high school level, we love having parents, administrators, but it's like, we need those high schoolers there too. I got to be on tours with them just recently with our Westlake charter 8th grade families here, and they were incredible. They've just such a perspective on what their experience has been, and just those little nuggets that they bring out of joyful learning that are throughout their experiences here at the high school is just, they just make me so joyful.
Oh, I love it. Yes, I love it. They are such great tour guides too. I got a chance to do some tour guiding with some link leaders, and I was like, and my leader was on point. She killed it. I mean, I kept wanting to be like, let me tell you. Oh, you've got that. Oh, hey, family's over here. Oh, nope, she's telling you right now. Yeah, I love it. Our link crewleaders crushed. I've got a Joyful Learning little nugget that I'm celebrating right now. Sally Hubbard, who's a 6th grade teacher here and over a decade here at Westlake Charter School, she's always innovating, always exploring. I mean, she creates a real vibe of joyful learning in her classroom. It's innovative, forward-thinking, student-centered. I love Sally's classroom. But right now she's involved in the Silicon Schools Foundation, launched an artificial intelligence cohort of educators to say, hey, could you guys go out and explore with AI and see, is it useful in the classroom? Is it not useful in the classroom? Does it help schools? Does it not help? Let's be some forward thinkers and experiment and innovate to see if how artificial intelligence could help the education space. So Sally's one of those explorers who's in that cohort. Real proud that she's part of it, and she's exploring with the product that helps students get in collaborative groups, and then 4 students are on Chromebooks doing a math problem, and then the AI chatbot coaches the kids to create consensus. So we all do our math problem, and the chatbot recognizes that Felix got the question right, but John got the question wrong. It goes, hey, Felix, why don't you explain your thinking out loud? And Felix goes, well, I carried the 1, I divided like this, and then through vocal recognition, it hears what Felix said, and it goes, hey, John, could you explain back to Felix what he said? And then John it goes, hey, John, you want to try that again? And what it does is kind of creates this collaborative space where the AI is doing. Well, I have had an opportunity to watch Sally use this product a couple of times, and the developers of the product, the 2 men who are the owners and operators of this company, flew out from New York to come visit Sally's classroom last week. So I got to be in there with these guys, and A, it was joyful. Kids were on point, they were jamming, trying new things. But B, I swear, these guys are like, hey, we fly all around the country to see who's using our product because we're a small company and we're trying to develop. She's doing things we've never thought of before. I said, what do you mean? She goes, well, she has a couple of groups that are like spread out. There's a kid sitting under the table over there. There's one kid sitting on the curb out there, and they're in a collaborative group. We always see the people collaborating at tables facing each other, but like now we're realizing you're trying something different that we've never seen before, and this might be actually an iterative, like new way to use our product. I'm like, well, welcome to Westlake Charter School, welcome to Sally Hubbard's class, right? So the innovation, the willingness to try new things, super Westlakey and super joyful. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. If you want to come out and check it out, there's good stuff going on for sure. I think it's time to kick it out to the street and talk 20 years of joyful learning. You guys ready for that?
Sounds good.
All right, for all of you at home, you know what's going down here. We are celebrating 20 years of joyful learning here at Westlake Charter School. We opened up in 2005. It's now 2025. We are graduating our first seniors this year. We're super excited about it. It's just a couple of months away. So let's kick it out to the street and talk to somebody who was here 20 years ago when we first opened this joint and see what she thinks about when she hears the phrase joyful learning. All right, let's go out and talk to Giovanna Hernandez. All right, I'm here with Mrs. Hernandez, who is a founding teacher at Westlake Charter School. Mrs. Hernandez, thinking back over 20 years of joyful learning, what was the first position you got hired to do here back in 2005? What did you teach?
So it's super interesting. I want to say that I am very humbled to say that back in 2005, I was hired to be a Spanish teacher, and I taught K-3 because that's all we had.
That's right,
We
kindergarten,
had
third.
kindergartens, first graders, second, third graders, and it's been amazing.
So back then, the school's just being founded. It's a founding board. They got a founding principal. I think there's 7 or maybe 8 founding teachers. You're one of those teachers. I guess so the decision at that point had been made, hey, we're going to make sure all of our kids study Spanish. And at that point, did we have art as well?
No, we didn't. We added art the next year.
So when we look back and go, hey, all of our kids take art, and all of our kids take Spanish, and all of our kids get PE from credentialed PE teachers, back then, you were the specialty. You were Spanish.
It was fun. I had students 5 days a week.
That's wild. That's so wild. And then the art teacher we hired, that was Ms. Zarzaga?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I guess I always thought Ms. Zarzaga was a part of that founding group, but no, she came in the next year.
Right.
Oh, I love it. So, okay, it's been 20 years.
It's been 20 years.
You've been here for 20 years. You've been teaching Spanish. Even during the pandemic, you stepped out of Spanish and were teaching first grade.
I taught first grade for my very first time, and I have to tell you that I still have connections with those students.
Oh, I bet.
And I now have them in 5th grade.
Oh my gosh, that's
and
right.
so the connections that I have with them are amazing because we made that strong connection over the pandemic.
It's funny you say connection. I'm going to ask you, hey, what does joyful learning mean to you? But to me, I think those connections, this whole community, whether it's like the kid who's been here from kindergarten all the way through 8th grade and now through 12th grade, it's the colleague that I've worked with for over a decade. The connections are so special. As you look back over the 20 years here at Westlake Charter School, what does joyful learning mean to you? What's something that comes to mind?
So joyful learning is many things, but one of the main things that I think that it means to me is literally providing students with learning opportunities for them to be able to work with others and stay engaged in class because it feels good and it's so contagious. Once it gets started, joyful learning is contagious. Hey, they're doing their work. Hey, they're learning. I want to do that. I want to feel like them. And so joyful learning is providing opportunities for students to grow and feel that they can learn and speak Spanish.
Yeah, I love
little
that.
by little.
I love that. And it's certainly true in your Spanish class. I think it's certainly true in all of our Spanish classes. But I also think that sentiment is so true as I walk across this campus. And you go into any classroom on this campus and you go, gosh, what's that special sauce? What's happening in here? And there's this engagement. There's this collaboration. There's this that leads to like, oh, I want to be part of this. Like the kids in our classes want to be a part of what's happening because our teachers do such a job of like creating that special something that's happening, that engaging experience in class. It's so cool.
Right. In Spanish, in middle school, I've been teaching middle school for the last 5 years, and we use many tools in class to keep students engaged. Chromebooks, to play games, to learn vocabulary, apps where they record their voice so they can kind of learn to hear themselves as they are speaking Spanish, assignments in Google Classroom, anything that makes a learning an opportunity to learn.
Yeah, it's funny because you've always been so forward with technology. I remember when we first adopted Chromebooks and, you were like, I don't know anything about these. And now you're like a regional expert in engaging kids with that type of technology. I love it. What's funny is I want to think back like, okay, so we're celebrating 20 years of joyful learning. Let's just do the quick, let's draw the map. Where was your first classroom at Westlake Charter School? What campus was that?
So it's very interesting. I didn't have a classroom.
Oh my gosh!
I was going through 2 classrooms to teach Spanish the first 2 years.
Really?
And it was back at
Two Rivers campus.
Yes.
And so you didn't have a classroom.
No, I didn't.
So when somebody went on prep, you went into their classroom.
Right. It was my classroom.
Oh my gosh.
So
then from there you moved to the Del Paso campus?
To the Del Paso campus, and that's when I had my classroom.
Yeah, I remember your classroom at the Del Paso campus. But now you never went over to the East Commerce campus, right? When they went to fourth, who was over there? So 4th grade was over there for a minute. and you
Right.
didn't go there. And then, did you end up on the Pebble campus?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
It was Miss Grimaldi.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. It's Grimaldi. And then we all came here together. I mean, what a story, man.
Yes.
I love it. Well, okay. Let's wrap it up for the folks at home. I guess looking back at the last 20 years of joyful learning, is there like a a community experience, a student experience, a field lesson? Is it the Fowl Festival, the talent show, international festival? Is there like one big community piece that you look at and go, oh, I love that we do that? Is there's something?
Interesting enough, I think that Westlake is Westlake because it has all those many pieces.
Yeah.
And without one of them, it wouldn't be Westlake. So
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to say, oh, let me tell you about this when everything else makes it glued together.
Yeah.
So I think it's everything, Ms. Reich.
Yeah.
Over the last 20 years, we do things because they feel good.
Yeah.
And we add more events or different things. But everything it makes Westlake Westlake.
Yeah, it's kind of there's a cadence and a calendar to this whole thing where you open the school year with a big fervor, and then you got the fall festival, and then you get chili cookout, you got dances, and then
everything.
Yeah. The cadence of the year after year, it keeps you coming back. I love it. Well, thank you for being willing to share your joyful learning experiences with us on the podcast. Can I get a little Let's Explore?
Let's explore. And if I can add one more thing,
Yeah.
I do have to tell you that one of the things to you were talking about the secret sauce.
Yeah.
I think that having amazing leaders like you, Ms. Roy,
Oh, come on.
having amazing leaders
Yeah.
like you.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah.
It's your dedication to students and your commitment towards students' success and safety.
Yeah,
so you are the secret sauce
Well,
as well.
thank you,
And
thank
you
you.
better add that because
Thank
you are amazing.
Oh, you're the best. Thank you so much.
my big fan.
Thank you. And we'll kick it back to you in the podcast this year. Thanks, Mr. Hernandez. You're the best. And we're back. I love it. I love interviewing, people who have been here for as long as they have. Giovanna is just phenomenal. What an amazing, teacher here at our school, and a real model of what is joyful at Westlake Charter School. All right, you guys, let's do what we do and dive in and do maybe upcoming events. You guys ready?
Go for it.
All right, let's hit it. Let's see. I'll take the first one. Friday, February 7th, we have a K-12 Spirit Day. It's Decades Day.
And on Friday, February 7th at 6 p.m., we have the K-12 Talent Show over at the K-8 Gym.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Wednesday, February 12th is special early dismissal day K through 12. So make sure you put on your calendars that we are out at noon on February 12th.
Yeah.
12 and 12.
Yep. Good deal. Monday, February 17th through Friday, February 21st is our February break. We have no school that week.
And on Thursday, February 27th at 8:30, we'll have our Wave Coffee Talk at the K-8 campus.
And last but not least, I am your date manager for this podcast. To save the date, it's K through 12 Conference Week, early dismissal all week, Monday, March 3rd, February through Friday, March 7th.
It's wild. When we get to the second conference of the year, I'm like, wow, it comes up fast. I can't believe we're already there. All right, looking at that list of upcoming events, what are you looking forward to most, you guys? What's tickling your brain bucket when you see it? You're like, oh, I can't wait for that. What do you got? MacGyver?
It's conferences. These second conferences. I love it because both of our campuses are on the same conference schedule.
Yeah.
Those fall conferences, we have different weeks. And so it is just this awesome, forgive me, the synergy that, all the parents are on campus. I get to go to my kids' conference. Yeah. I get to be here to see all of our parents here. I just love conference week.
Yeah, I love the conference. Felix, what are you looking forward to, man?
Talent show.
I knew you were going to say it.
Talent show. Yeah, to see I love that, there's student host, it's student managed. It's just that it's cool to see all the kids together. And yeah, there's some standout, America's Got Talent stars up there.
Oh, for sure. I was at auditions yesterday, and there were some awesome auditions yesterday, and it's cool because we got some high school kids in the talent show too. So it's really, you're gonna have some little kindergartners followed up by some rocking high schoolers. It's going to be pretty amazing. Well, I'll double down and say talent show too, because I don't know that I'll dress up for Decades Day. I mean, I think I'm just a decade all by myself every day. So I don't know if that was the one I would look forward to. All right, let's do the best part of the show. What's happening in Wave this week, this month? How can we get involved in Wave? Let's turn it to our Wave president, Felix Flores. What do you got, man?
Yeah, so we have Coffee Talk on February 27th at 8:30 at the K-8 campus. We did donuts for every class that showed up last time, which was awesome. I apologize, though, to admin. I know it created a little confusion with my Audible with that, and we're wondering where the donuts are going. So I apologize. This year will be a little more structured. We are going to give it to every grade level classroom that has the most students coming in. So we're still going to get multiple boxes of donuts. So it's a little bit more structured here. It seemed to be a good motivator. We had some great new faces come in. So it's that. The second thing I would really, really push is that we are now in the midst of planning an international festival. Yeah. And so we have our 2 co-chairs already running on hitting the ground. We're starting to put together kind of our layout and run of show. So if you're interested in running a booth, being part of some of the activities, just helping out, whether it's kind of admissions, tickets, or whatever it may be, we could use the folks. You can go to westlakewave.com, sign up under the calendar. It says International Festival, fairly easy to find it. And if you have any questions with it, you can contact us at the website or wavewcs@gmail.com.
What is the date of the International Festival?
April 5th.
Okay, so it's out beyond our upcoming dates, but okay, April 5th, got it. Oh, good. Yeah. I think my wife just bought A's tickets for April 7th because the A's tickets went on sale today. So go and see the A's and the Padres here in Sacramento, California on April 7th. Okay, April 5th though, so it's gonna be a great weekend for me. I got International Festival, and then I got a 7 p.m. Tickets to a baseball game. That's so cool. All right, anything else going down in Wave that we need to know about, Felix?
Those are the big ones so far. We have Family Dance on February 1st, but I think the podcast comes out after.
Yeah, but we're sitting on January 31st right now, so tomorrow night for us, on this side of the podcast is Family Dance. I'm loving it. Okay, well, that wraps the show. What a great month. It's been a month of January. We are going to blink, and it's going to be June, and kids will be walking the stage at graduation, and we will be, from here till there, continuing to celebrate 20 years of joyful learning. Thank you for tuning into the podcast. Thanks for watching us on the YouTubes. Thanks for doing what you do to be part of the Westlake Charter School community. We appreciate you, and as always, let's explore. Felix, you can throw up 2 fingers like this. There we go. We got the confetti. Let's go.